On today's vlog, fall is here clearly, and it is chilly and it is going to rain, so we're going inside to get some coffee. Let's get to it. Morning. Good, you guys? All right, Monday means work. Lots and lots of work. This is going to be a busy week, but it's going to be a really good week with lots of different stuff happening, which generally I like, and nothing like too crazy and huge, but there's a couple of things later in the week that I'm excited to get to. Today is really about emails, some meetings, getting set up for the week, making sure I've got my list of everything that needs to happen this week. That's important, especially when you're the kind of person where you're all over the map. Yeah, so we're just here at Naked Bean, getting started. Coffee. Okay, just had an amazing meeting with a girl named Sarah, and we connected on tons of things that we're going to be able to work together on. What I like about it is it's probably a little bit of a reciprocal relationship, meaning that we can both help each other and do some things together, and that's a fantastic thing to get involved with. So anyway, it's going to be awesome, but we talked for 2 hours. We were supposed to meet for an hour, and I'm late for another meeting, so I'm just going to drive there and get there and move on. Okay, bye. Come on, Bushwhackers. Honestly, one of the best lunch places in Regina. Their food is always excellent. Absolutely excellent. If you're not a regular here, you should be. It'd be rainy in here. Out there, not in here. In here it's pretty dry. It'd be bad if it was raining here. I guess I could open the sunroof, we could make it rain in here. Anyway, that's fine. It's been a busy morning, and I guess going in the afternoon, 1:30. I'm gonna try and find a coffee shop to now get some quiet time. I've got some emails I gotta respond to, and a little bit of just kind of strategic work that I need to get done. So, you know where we gotta go. Clean this off. Okay, you guys know that I'm generally a very positive person, but part of me has the blues knowing that it's going to snow later this week, and Thursday or Friday's high is 2 degrees Celsius, and that is really sad, but winter had to come eventually. But I just got the new boosted board, and we're out of weather, so I'm gonna be holding up lots for the vlog. One of my spots probably be right here. Anyway, I'm getting rain all over this camera. Let's get inside. Kyle? What's going on, buddy?
Welcome back.
Oh, yeah. Did you get that?
I did not.
Oh, it's just sitting there tempting us. Oh, you got a cookie. Another interesting question on the YouTubes from Forest Knight saying, I was wondering, do you have a video on a little backstory of how you went from whatever work you did before to freelancing, owning your own business, or whatever you want to call it? Well, I was actually hoping at some point to make a video all about the journey of how you get to doing what I do today from, kind of where I started, just a little bit of my own story, but I haven't got there yet, so I'm just gonna walk you through it here right now, and if you don't care about my story, I don't know, maybe move on to a later part of the vlog, but it's gonna take a couple of minutes, because there's lots that, got me to doing what I'm doing today, and I think I mentioned this before, but what's interesting is, when I was in high school, there was no way you could go into this career, because right now I work a lot with social media and telling stories online, digital, and that stuff didn't even exist. When I was in high school in the early 2000s, there was no such thing as Facebook or Twitter or any of these social media platforms, and so it's interesting to be doing that today when, I never did any post-secondary for, marketing or anything like that. So, but here's my journey, and I think one of the biggest things that actually helped set me on this career path was I was homeschooled for 6 years. Now, I hated it because I loved the social side of it, but the interesting thing about the way that we were homeschooled wasn't my mother taught us. She would help us if we needed help, but it was really, you got these books and you learned from the curriculum, and you had to learn to teach yourself. That it'd be written on the page, and you'd have to figure it out and be able to do it yourself. And kind of all the way, even the high school I went, was a lot of self-directed learning. And honestly, for me, that was one of the greatest things that's been able to help me, because I believe school is about teaching you how to teach yourself and learning how to learn so that you can continue to learn throughout your life without always needing somebody else to teach you, that you can figure it out. And so I'd say that was a big part of it. And then when I was 16, I started working at McDonald's, and I believe in having a fantastic attitude, and that's really important. So that's something that I applied to McDonald's, making friends, being friendly with people, and working hard and giving your best at whatever it is. And so I worked my way up from like being, I don't know, crew member to, I'm trying to remember, it was like crew trainer and then a team leader and then a swing manager, which was like the lowest level of management, but I just kept working and kind of kept advancing there. But I've always been interested in technology and even the internet. My dad has worked at SaskTel, which is our like provincial internet and telecommunication provider, for like as long as I've been alive. And so he was part of the team testing the first ever in-home modems, which really brought internet into the house. And there was a time when every house didn't have internet, and we were one of the first houses to ever have internet. And so I've always had access to the internet, and I'm very, very fortunate to that. So I kind of grew up on the internet, and so that's an important piece. But I was at McDonald's, and right next door was an electronics store called Visions Electronics. And I really wanted to work there because I thought electronics and even sales would be interesting, but I just wanted to work with all the cool gadgets. And so one day the manager from there was in and said he was doing inventory, and he needed a deal on cheeseburgers because he was going to buy tons and tons of them. And I told him that I would give him a deal on cheeseburgers if he gave me an interview. Now, at the time I was probably 17 or 18 and didn't know that maybe that wasn't the most ethical thing to do in the world. But anyway, he kind of laughed and said, well, do you have any sales experience or, any, and I just convinced him that through my time working at McDonald's that I would be good at that. He gave me an interview, he hired me on the spot, and I started selling electronics. Well, that was great, and I did that for a little while, but then an opportunity came up with a friend who became the director of sales at a website company, and he needed some help in sales, and so I was doing a little bit of sales there, so I came over there to do some sales. Well, I wasn't there long before I just started saying yes to doing anything they asked me to do, whether I was go and pick up groceries at times, or fill out forms, or eventually was helping on the customer support side, and eventually I became the customer support kind of manager, which I wasn't managing people, I was just managing all the requests coming in from customers. I did that for a little while, and I just said yes to that. And then eventually the chief technology officer said, hey, do you know anything about IT, or you seem smart, would you help us out on the IT side? And I was like, well, I don't know anything about that, but sure, I'll help you out. And I just Googled my way through it for a couple of years and learned how to do IT for a small company and build computers and work with networks and switches and routers. And, I just kind of figured that stuff out, again, continuing to teach myself. And so I did that for a little while. And then I was working on projects and got into a little bit more consulting side on customer relationship management systems. And somebody called me from an advertising agency that we were working at. And he said, hey, you're too cool to work at a nerdy website company. Come to the creative world and work in the agency and it'll be amazing. And so I said yes to that and went over to the agency world, and I worked there for a while, and that was the beginning of social media, and had to teach myself and learn more about that, and got into that world, and it was kind of websites and things related, and I just kind of faked it until I made it, and I felt like I could figure that stuff out and just think logically about it, so I did that for a while, and then somebody approached me to come work for a group of car dealerships, which I never thought that I would do. My goal was to never step foot on a car dealership lot, but I had a lot of misconceptions about them, and especially this company, now one of Canada's best managed companies, and just a fantastic place. Anyway, they were looking at building a marketing department, and they knew they needed help in kind of the digital and technology space, and so I knew lots about that. I didn't actually know anything about traditional marketing, but I figured I could do the job, and it took me a while to be able to do the job, but I learned through that process, and we went from, there was one marketing person when I came, and we built that to about 6 people with designers and kind of account people and the whole team there, and it's been really, really successful, and I struggled my way through it and almost quit about 50 times, but by the end kind of came through that, and then I went back to the agency world to take kind of a senior position somewhere, and I just, after doing it for a few months, I just knew I couldn't build somebody else's thing. I built other people's things for long enough where I was like, I need to do my own thing, and I was reading this book about what I really, really wanted to do, and so I read it on a Sunday, and on Monday I came in and I resigned, and then decided I was going to do my own thing in this company, and now it's been about 2 years. But throughout that process and that journey, there was just so much, I guess, learning, and in many ways, confidence in myself that I'd be able to figure it out. Now, I had many doubts throughout the process, but because I had so much practice at, I guess, teaching myself throughout the years, that I was able to teach myself into new things that I guess maybe other people wouldn't have. And I didn't go to school, but in some ways I'm thankful that I got to start kind of my career around 18 or 19 years old, so I'm, over a decade into it, and I guess really thriving and loving what I'm doing, and I don't say this arrogantly. Like I know that in the city I'm one of the best people in this particular niche that I'm doing now, but I continue to challenge myself to learning. Again, that's why like a year and a half ago I knew nothing about photography or videography, but it was something I wanted to learn about. So I just got on the internet and started learning and started growing and challenging myself there. And photography seemed easy, but videography seemed like way too much work, and I shied away from it for a long time, but eventually was like, no, this is something I need to learn. So I pushed myself, bought a couple of courses, and taught myself how to get more into that, and the vlog kind of spawned out of that, and I don't know where this is going to go. And honestly, I don't plan on doing whatever I'm doing now like 10 years from now. I think it's going to continue to evolve and change, but I just want to keep adapting and learning and growing. And so I don't know, I think that's about that's kind of my career journey to where I am today. I keep adding more things that I can do to my business as I keep learning myself. Like when I started, I couldn't do photography or videography, but now that's something that I've incorporated along with like website and social media strategy and digital advertising and AdWords and analytics. And some of those things, honestly, like I kind of let go and now let other people do as I learn other parts. And it's just this constant moving and evolving. And I guess that's my story. So long answer, how long? 7 minutes, holy moly. Anyway, that's probably a good chunk of today's vlog. Hopefully something in there inspires you and challenges you. If you've been thinking about doing something and learning about something, don't wait. Go do it now, and you'll be amazed at how your passions and your interests can transform into like what you begin to do for a living as you find those special niches. And it may not be all of your income, but it could totally be something fun on the side, and who knows where it goes. Anyway, that's how you become a full-time chief storyteller. I have my own company, I can give myself whatever title I want, but really working with businesses on telling stories online. Cool. Maybe not the world's most interesting vlog today, unless you thought my story was interesting, but that's kind of what we got. So that took a while, and I'm not gonna keep dragging this on for longer and longer and longer. Check back tomorrow for something maybe more visually interesting. But if you have any questions, I also wanna do another session of Q&A. Drop a comment below, I'd really appreciate it. Do you guys know it really actually helps get the vlog out more? If you like it, or you comment on it, or you happen to, if you haven't liked my page yet, like my page. That really helps do it. It helps me spend less money. Anyway, appreciate having you guys along. I'm Justin Rivas, you guys are the greatest. See you tomorrow.